Hey everyone, welcome back to Chicken Cindy's, and today we're going to take a closer look at this Polygon Xtrada. This hardtail is actually one of my buddies from work. He's a firefighter with me, and he was asking me over a bike that I would recommend. That wasn't necessarily a super cheap bike, but also wasn't a crazy expensive bike. And I recommended an Xtrada. After looking at the different ones, he settled on this Xtrada 6. It is a size medium, and it is a 29er. We're gonna get some closer, I guess, videos of it here in just a second. And I'm actually gonna take it to Griffin Bike Park and do like a real first time ride review for me. So this will actually be the first time that I've ever ridden a Polygon, and I'm very, very excited. For the price, from what I can tell, this looks like a very nice build. We're gonna kind of go over the parts a little bit here in a second, and I'm gonna just make sure it's shifting okay, make sure it's braking okay, and I'm gonna show you something that he did that's just kind of interesting to me as well. When I pulled this out of Jimmy's truck, the first thing I noticed was the handlebars. And this is something just to note if maybe you've never put together a bike before, and even though a lot of these bikes now come pretty well, like 90% assembled, he put the handlebars on backwards and upside down. So this needs to be on this side, and it actually goes under. It's your shifting mechanism. So he was riding it the other day, and he was telling me about just how weird it's to shift and how it feels to shift. So it didn't really make sense at the time, but then I saw this and I just started to crack up laughing because, I mean, he didn't know any better. So, I mean, you know, if you get a new bike, maybe from Polygon, and you've never built a bike or messed with it, maybe have a local bike shop or a friend who knows what they're doing check it out. So just thought it was kind of funny, and I wanted to show that real quick before I get into the video footage of me working on it. All right, we did a real quick once over on the bike. It's shifting good, brakes are good, got the handlebars switched back the way they're supposed to be. I need to do some cable shortening and stuff, so it's kind of wonky how it looks up front right now. I think what happened up front was the stem is upside down, so I'm guessing the stem and the handlebars were all connected in the box, and he put it on upside down. So it would have been the right side to do it where the entity could be red. I think it would have been okay. So the only thing that, like, I don't know, I'm just looking at this bike and, like, I wish this wasn't a 27.2 seat post diameter. It is what it is at the end of the day. You could still get a dropper post for it because it's got some internal routing, which is terrific. So, I mean, that's awesome. I love that. But, like, looking at this bike, the pictures online, the color looks, like, really good. It definitely looked a lot different in the pictures to me for some reason. But it's like an army, like, forest, like, military green almost that goes into the black, and it's a very sharp looking bike. And I would say, like, for the price, this drivetrain is terrific. I'm very excited over that. The fork, nice budget fork it looks like. It's just a coil fork, so no air or anything like that. But it's still got adjustment and stuff. So I'm kind of interested to play with that a little bit. Nice Shimano hydraulic brakes, hard to beat those. But yeah, the saddle looks really nice too. I'm interested to see, I'm guessing this, I don't know if Entity is just a, like, Polygon brand, like kind of like how Trek has theirs with them and stuff. So maybe I might need to do a little research there. If one of you guys know, let me know down in the comments. But I don't think you can just buy Entity on the side, but I'm thinking it's like a Polygon brand kind of a thing. But no, the next thing you're gonna see is Griffin Bike Park. Let's go. Gonna start with the basic training. And the nice thing about this is this bike is 100% stock, okay? Stock pedals, stock everything. The videos you just saw is me just kind of making sure it's good to go and ready to go. And it should be. So we're gonna kind of just take it nice and easy, and gonna try to do some stuff that like beginners would be doing, or probably someone who's buying this bike, maybe some intermediates, you know, upgrading from their first like Walmart bike kind of scenario. And I'm excited for it. We hit some of these little wooden features, nothing crazy as mentioned, and I'm gonna try to put some miles on it because it's technically a cross-country bike. So I'll probably put my Strava at the end of it and just see what kind of what happens. I like actually hitting this teeter-totter, but like stopping and treating it like a teeter-totter. Typically I just like ramp off the side. I'm gonna try to be kind of conscious, decision conscious, cautious on what I do on this, since it's not my bike. The nice thing about this bike though is it is a medium. It is a 29er, so it's typically the kind of bike I would purchase. And my buddy at work who actually owns this bike is literally the same size as me. He wears 32 32s. He's about the exact same height as me. So I kind of got it set up for me, and it should fit him pretty good too. So did that little setup for him, and I don't know, I'm just excited. It's gonna be a nice little bike ride. Beautiful weather. Trails are about green. I mean, absolutely spot on. So this is a little shoot off the basic training. This is technically a blue. Got some a little bit more daring features. So we'll go through this little area, and then we'll probably just jump on the perimeter trail, just see how it rides. And so far I'm really digging it. The fork is definitely springy. It's a little springy. I wish it had a dropper to get the saddle out of my butt, or out of my way. Well, I could still kind of get behind it, but definitely there. All right, so right there is the exit of the beginning little blue and green loop. So far, really good. Digging it. Feels nice. The tires are like 2.25, so they're pretty skinny compared to what I typically ride. So I typically don't go below 2.4. So it's kind of interesting to be on that kind of tire. But let's talk about the bike real quick in the sense of components. So you got Shimano MT201 hydraulics. Very, very nice beginner hydraulic brakes. Shouldn't even really say beginner. I mean, they're just nice brakes. The only complaint I have of them is the fact that the levers, or the blades, whatever you want to call them, they're a little wide. So the little lever that actuates the rear caliper, this part, if you can see it, they're long for these budgets. But I mean, that doesn't really affect them. I got them pretty far out to the side, so I'm still able to do one finger braking on them. They work great. 160 millimeter rotor, front and rear. Whoop. And great stopping power for cross country. It's absolutely fine. No issues. Once they break in and bed in, you will absolutely love them. Shimano Deore 11 speed. I'll put it in the top corner, as I'm not sure what the actual range is on the 11 speed, but the biggest cog definitely looks fine. I mean, it's definitely close to 50 if it's not actually 50. But for the price range, or the price point of this bike, which I believe is $100, sorry, $800. I can't talk. Not 100. If it was 100, holy cow. The price is $800. It's a lot of bike here. You got that Suntour fork up front. Definitely springy being in a coil fork, but it is what it is. I mean, for $800, you have some money there to put into a fork to upgrade it if you want to later. Geometry wise, it feels very nice. There's a little climb up here that we'll see how it climbs in the saddle. It's not a super crazy climb, but speaking of saddle, that Entity saddle feels very nice. I'm really liking it so far. Main components, is that all of them? Really liking this Shimano drivetrain. It is shifting very nice. Some would say like butter. We're gonna try to pedal pretty hard and burn this section and see what happens. But this is again just part of the green perimeter loop. Pretty wide trails and nothing crazy. Just kind of going, getting a feel for the bike. I almost switched my pedals onto this. I probably should have. But I'd say just snag a pair of race face chesters, throw them on this in whatever color you want. Black would be fine. Little jump. But yeah, so far, I mean, just the stock pedals. But typically, if you're buying a new bike, you probably should know that. Yeah, honestly, this is, said it a couple times now. I'm pretty impressed with this bike right now. So we're gonna go ahead and do this little section. There's a few jumps here. Oh gosh, that's right. So that's about as low as this will go. I wonder if I take that bolt out, if it could go lower. Have to check that out. I don't have a tool on me right now, but so this might be a little bit worse than I thought it was going to be. I was hoping to slam the saddle. We're gonna do a couple jumps though, so hopefully that doesn't make this go bad. We'll see what happens. The saddle is definitely in between my legs. We'll go ahead and keep it rolling. And we'll go across the bridge. We'll go ahead and finish out this. This is technically a black trail cabler. But this part is pretty pedally. Now I'm way too low when I'm sitting because I just put that down. But you'll see the floating bridge to the right there. They actually just fixed it. It used to be pretty cockeyed. They put a bunch more barrels under it. I was talking to Rich about how that went when he was putting the new barrels under it. Putting a big barrel full of air is evidently pretty fun. Trying to shove it under a bridge. But yeah, this used to be like almost like a 45-degree angle when you were trying to go across it. I do love this little section, just kind of through this area. Very fun. Definitely a little sketchy if you're the newer rider. I wouldn't recommend it. So I got both of these screws out and I'm guessing the rivets go through. Yep. So really you'd either have to cut your seat post or drill out those rivets if you wanted your stock actual seat to go all the way down. So kind of a bummer there. Time to hit the dual slalom. These pedals are freaking me out. I knew I wasn't gonna make that, so I crossed over. So as of right now, I feel like I have enough footage of here riding. I'm gonna go ahead and just do a lap or two, just to kind of like burn it and just get a little bit better of a feeling of the bike without the GoPro on. And then I will meet you back at the coop so we can kind of summarize my, I guess, initial impressions or review over this Polygon Xtrada. All right, we are back from Griffin Bike Park, and I'll put it here, like a little over 10 miles. It was a really good bike ride. Very pleasantly surprised over this Polygon. I'm gonna try to keep this outro kind of short because I've had about an hour and a half to think about like what I wanted to say about this bike for a like a first time ride experience review. The things that I really like a lot about this bike, the drivetrain in this price range is absolutely terrific. I am very, very impressed with how this Shimano Deore, the 11-speed, just shifts. And I mean, it was very nice. It was a very pleasant experience. The range is great. I mean, if this is a bike you're looking at for like beginner, intermediate trails, 100% terrific setup. You should not have to touch that in the sense of upgrading unless something breaks, wears out, or something of that nature. The actual brakes, the Shimano hydraulic brakes and the 160mm rotors, very nice. I thought they braked terrific. I never once didn't think I had like not enough power to stop for the things I was doing. So I was very, very happy with that. I think the wheels and the tires are terrific as well. Very, very nice Ardents. I like the 2.25. I think they're pretty quick, pretty nimble. I really enjoyed them. The saddle is also nice. I thought the saddle was great. Handlebars, stem, even the actual grips, that was all really nice. I'm very impressed with this frame. The frame felt really, really good. If you are around 5'10", with about a 32-inch inseam, medium is definitely the size I'd recommend. This fit me very, very well. I was very, very happy with the way, like the fit, the feel of this frame itself, and it was very, just overall nice. It was a very nice ride. The fork, pleasantly surprised over the fork. It like is not the best fork in the world. It's not a terrible fork. It did well. I was messing with the rebound and stuff a little bit and the lockout, and it's just a very nice functioning Suntour. So that is definitely something that you'd probably upgrade down the road and just get an air fork, nice tapered air fork eventually for it. But I mean, like the overall like just components of this bike for the price is very nice. I mean, it's a very, very impressive build for around $800. The couple things that I did not like, there were really two, kind of three. The pedals absolutely have to go. If you're buying a new bike and like if this is your first bike, just buy some nice race face Chesters, throw them on this, you'll be good to go. The pedals really prevented me from doing quite a few things just because I felt like my feet were gonna slip off. As a person who's biked for a long time, not a long time, but like a while, I knew that was gonna happen. But I wanted a realistic experience for like a new consumer who's getting into bike riding and doesn't wanna buy a bike from Walmart and wanted something a little bit nicer. This is definitely it. If you did not know that like it comes with just not good pedals, that's something you just need to be aware of. So if you're placing this order, just go to Amazon, somewhere that sells nicer pedals and snag them. Just, you know, black ones, whatever, maybe do a fun accent color or find some green ones. But yeah, definitely 100% recommend that. And the other issue that I really have with this bike involves the seat post, seat tube area. So you cannot slam this because these are like rivets that go into the actual seat tube themselves. Your only option is to either cut down the actual post itself or to get some form of dropper. That's one of them. The part two of that is the fact that this seat post is a 27.2. Now, they make 27.2 droppers, but for some silly reason, they typically are more expensive than like a 30.6 or a 31.9 because of the fact they're like a specialty, because this is technically like an older style diameter, so it's like a specialty dropper post. It is what it is. You could probably find some decent ones used or something like that. A 27.2 internal is kind of rough to find at a decent price, but it does have internal, but you could also just run external and just kind of go on the top tube with some zip ties if you wanted to do that. So you have options there, but I almost feel like a dropper post is necessary for this. So maybe I'll talk to my bud who owns this bike about getting a dropper post and what I'd recommend for the dropper post and send it to him, and then I'll do an installation video for this. So let me know in the comments if that's something you would like to see, because again, this isn't my bike, but you know, just overall, if this is something you want to see on the channel again, please let me know, because it's not mine. I have my Maniac now. I point because it's right there, and that's what I've been riding. Quite a bit more aggressive and more expensive bike than this one. but I love budget bikes. And honestly, I mean, this bike's nice, especially for the price. I'm interested in the Xtrada 7 now. I would love to see one. Polygon, hook me up if you're watching. I mean, of course, you don't have to. But no, if this is a bike you're considering, this Xtrada 6 is nice. I'm very impressed with it. And a lot of companies can learn from, honestly, the components and stuff they have on this bike, because Polygon did an absolutely terrific job. So, A+, love it. Absolutely highly recommend it. I guess A-, because the seat post. But hey, it is what it is there. But hey, any questions over this, put them down in the comments. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and until next time, take care.